Hi, I'm Vivia, or you may know me as Viv from Lucia with Me. Today in this video, I'll be showing you how I lettered throughout all of my journals from 2021 to 2023. Currently, I'm using a traveler's notebook and an A5 journal from Arch and Olive. You can always use Viv 10 for any Arch and Olive products. Alright, let's get started with the video. The first thing I'm going to show you is the very simple lettering style. I'm using a Tombow Fulenosuke brush pen to just write the way you usually would when you hand letter. I used to do bouncy letters back in 2021, but I've changed to a more slimmer style. And these are basically all the ideas you can have for hand lettering. This is the next font where I'm using a Tombow, and I'm going over the thick areas to make it to differentiate it, and then going over it with a white Uniball signal pen and adding the little hearts and the lines. I just think it just makes it seem so much better. The next one is where you have to use two brush pens. I use the two Tombow brush pens that I had on me, and basically one is a lighter shade and one is a darker shade. And he just tried to blend them in and use a white pen again for any kind of accents on it. Next one is like the variation of the first one I created. This one that I'm doing here is basically using my acrylograph and my Tombow, a very light Tombow, to letter. This one could also be said to be a fall letter style, honestly, but basically the acrylograph makes it all matte and then you go over with a white pen for any accents. Here you see two different tones of colors, which I really like in my lettering. And this one is the one where I usually do in my weeklies. They're just like with a normal pen and it's just lettering but no thick or thin lines. And then this one is the one inspired by Autumn. It's where you do block letters and then with a lighter shade or white colored shade, you would do some kind of shadow behind it. Of course, when you look at my stuff here and then when you look at the stuff I did in my journal, it's really different. But since this is new to me, I would make sure to go ahead and use a pencil first and write the alphabets rather than just going at it like how I did, because I feel like I left a lot of space, which is irritating me a little bit right now. And then I just go ahead with a lighter acrylograph and then make the shadow thing that I was talking about. And then of course the signature white uniball for the highlights. And then this is the next one that I've got for you. It's just basically a block of paint, or rather a block of pen with the acrylograph. And then on top you use a fine liner or a brush pen to write the word. I wrote the word rose because I just felt like it. Next one I have is where you letter the word of the day, and the way I lettered have a good day ahead and just write the date on top of it. Next one is actually inspired by Leah on Instagram. It's a play on the serif font. And I really like it because it looks like bubbly, but it also does not. Also here you can see my E is so far away and so differentiated from the entire word. But again, this can be anything you want it to be. Moving on to my anime journal. There were lots of fonts I tried out in this journal, particularly the font you see on the screen right now. I basically used a stencil from one of the shops. I believe it's Sticky Rice Cow, and I used her stickers as an inspiration. But that's how I made this font. And then I also started doing this one where you also would letter the name on a vellum and then stick it on top. The next type of lettering style I have is pretty easy. It's just writing the word in block letters, however you want, lowercase, uppercase, it depends on you, and then going ahead to highlight and darken the big parts. The next one is basically just writing the word with a light grayish pen and then outlining it with a fine liner. And once you're done outlining, you can create some kind of shadow to it, which makes it look like it's only lettered with the outline, which is what I'm doing currently. The next one is a little complicated, so I'll start explaining it right now. It's basically where you go ahead with the darker shade and then go with a lighter shade on the bottom and try to merge it in. And then use a eyeliner for shadows and the white pen for highlights. This one is actually one of my favorite styles of lettering that I'm doing right now. It is just so serene and it looks so perfect when it comes out well. And I think that's about it. I've shown you about 13 different ways to letter, which is quite a lot to me. You also need to know that handwriting doesn't require you to follow a set of rules like calligraphy does, so you can use your imagination and go above and beyond with your lettering in your journals. For me, these are what I would go for. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video and found some inspiration for different types of lettering you can do. Hope you have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much for watching.